Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I wanted to go ahead and do some comparison swatches for y'all of all of the Devinah sparkly shifty shadows. I do have a full collection video which isn't that outdated, which I can link down below for you if you're interested, where I swatched all of like the satins and the mattes as well, but those have not expanded since that video. But I've ended up with a few more shades of their special shadows, and I got some requests because there are some shades that are a little bit similar, and you guys just wanted some swatches, which I completely understand. So I really hope that this video will be helpful for you, because I do have every single Sugar Drop, Willy Wonka Xploder, Galaxy Dust, and then I also have their Candy Cakes collection. I also have the Star Chasers, which they recently released, and all of the Aurorae Flare shadows, which are true multichromes in my opinion. And when I say a true multichrome, the reason I say that is just to make a distinction of shadows that have a black base with a bunch of different shifts rather than like the lighter shades. It just helps me categorize them a little bit more, even though these other ones do have lots of shifts as well. I also wanted to mention that most of these, I would say, I received in PR. I did order the extension shades for the Galaxy Dust shadows. I ordered the Sugar Drops. I bought most of the Aurorae Flare ones. One of them was PR. And then other than that, I believe that the rest are PR. Just to be transparent, I also do have an affiliate code with Devinah in case you're ever interested in ordering anything from them. It's just AMYLOVES. It saves you a little bit of money. I make a commission, so it's kind of a win-win for both of us, but just wanted to let you know it's there. No pressure to use it or anything, but I do have one. So let's just go ahead and jump right on in. Instead of organizing these by collection, because I already have videos on almost every single collection, I thought I would organize them by colors. And then I kept the Aurorae Flares by themselves because they are so shifty that it's pretty hard to say, oh, this is a blue, because then suddenly it's a green, or this is a purple, but then it's a red. So I just kept them by themselves, and we'll swatch those last. So I'm actually pretty tempted to just swatch on my hand because these are shades that are very shifty. So I feel like I'll be able to show you their dimension a little bit more, even if I'm only able to do like 3 or 4 at a time. So I'm gonna start off with this shade right here, which is called Shuggies. It's one of my favorite shades. I don't actually, you know what? I do really love this, but honestly, I'm gonna refrain from saying this is one of my favorite shades, because I would literally be saying that about almost every single shade that I'm swatching today. But I will say that I love this color, and it is a green to like pinky red shifting color. And I would describe the formula of all of the Sugar Bombs to be pretty similar. They're definitely more on like the loose, sparkly side. I prefer to use these with a glitter primer or spraying my brush pretty much always. That's how I feel about a lot of these shadows, but the new ones are a little bit more like metallic, a little bit less loose. So I wonder if they're kind of updating them as they go, but I haven't bought any of the old shades that I have to try a new version to see if there is a difference, or if it's just the new collections that are being a little bit less softly made. I do like the new formula a little tiny bit more, but they look equally beautiful on the eyes. So anyways, this is the shade Shuggies. Really, really beautiful green shift going on there. So there's what Shuggies looks like. Lots of pink and green. And then next we have the shade Cake Bomb. This I want to say is just a white to blue shifting shadow. If you were wanting me to compare these to like the Terra Moon shadows, they have their iridescent chameleons. I would say that these are a lot more sparkly, and the Terra Moon's ones are a little bit more shifty when it comes to the iridescent ones. But these are still really beautiful and impactful if you love a very intense inner corner. And then next we have the shade Boom Sour. It's a white to blue with a little bit more greenness maybe, but you can see, well, I don't know if you can see, but those two are quite similar. I don't feel like you would need both. So there is Boom Sour. It might be just a little bit more teal. Over a black base, you might see a difference more, but for me personally, on my skin tone, I don't see a difference. Next, we have the shade Puffles, and this is a white to blue, purple, pinky shifting shade. I feel like I can see a lot going on here. I see pink and blue. Okay, so next we have this shade right here, which is called Taffy Bomb. This one has purple and teal shifts. You can see that right there. Super, super pretty. We have the shade Soda Swamp, which has a pink shift to it. Next we have the shade Cavity, which is a white to pinky purple shifting shade. That one feels a little bit smoother than some of the other ones. But I feel like between some of these pinks here, again, I don't think you'd necessarily need all of them. Finishing off, we have the shade Yum Licks, which is a white to true pink. So there's what that one looks like. And you can see, I mean, between those, there are subtle differences, but I feel like if you just had one, it would be enough. Okay, so now moving on to the blue row, we're gonna start off with this shade right here, which is called Nerds, and it's a really beautiful blue with a yellow shift. So there's what Nerds looks like. These swatch so intense with a glitter glue. It's ridiculous, but I'm just gonna swatch them with no primer because that's what I typically do. And then we have this shade here, which is a really beautiful blue. And it also has like a green shift and like a little bit of a periwinkle base. It's a really stunning color. It's called Everlasting Gobstoppers. I don't know if you can see the purple. I think you can a little bit. It's really, really stunning. So there is Everlasting Gobstoppers. Next we have another light blue, and this one has a strong periwinkle shift. It is called Swudge. Even though some of these light blues look similar, I would say that they all have their own unique shifts, and I think they look very different on the eyes. See how pretty they are? I'm gonna try and swatch two more shades right now just because they both have periwinkle shifts and it makes sense to compare them. So this next one is called Altair, and it has like an emerald base with a periwinkle shift. It's a really, really cool color. So there's what that one looks like. You can see a little bit of a deeper base compared to the lighter shades I just swatched. And then we have another one here which has a periwinkle shift. This one is called Confetti Kisses, and it is really, really beautiful. It has like a deep turquoise base, so the periwinkle shift shows really, really well. So there's what that one looks like. I mean, between Confetti Kisses and Altair, you could probably get a similar look out of them, but Altair has a little bit more green in its base. Okay, so now we have two different teal-based colors. This is called Akia, and it has a really beautiful like purple base with a teal shift. It's definitely a very, very shifty shadow. That one right here. Super, super pretty. Do you see that? Love that one. That one's newer. And then we also have the shade Draco, which was in the same collection. And it is a teal with like a little tiny bit of a blue shift, but that one is not anywhere near as shifty. It's definitely more subtle. So if I was gonna recommend one of those, it would be Akia. So now jumping into the pinks, we can start off with this one right here, which is a pink with a yellow golden shift, and it is called Pixie Sticks. I love this one because the gold shift is so strong, especially on the eyes. It is so beautiful. So there's what that one looks like. Like, I feel like it's not even just that it's a shift. It's like you can see the pink and the specks of gold at the same time, and it's just so intense. And just, if you love pinks, that's a really good one. And then we have the shade Marshmallow Pillows. This is one of my all-time favorites. It is a pink with a blue shift. So there's what Marshmallow Pillows looks like. Again, the shift is really, really nice on that one. And then another really beautiful pink. This is called Cream Puff Cuddles. It also has a blue shift, but the base is a much deeper pink compared to Marshmallow Pillows. And it's just so, so pretty. So there's what that one looks like. Again, I feel like there's enough differences in all of those that I could justify buying all three, and I think they're really, really beautiful. And I just realized I completely skipped the yellow, orange, and green row. We're gonna go back to that in just a moment. So now continuing with this, I have this shade right here, which this one has like a little bit of like a yellowy orange base and a pink shift. So there is Centaurus. Again, pretty strong shift. And then these next three shades I feel like are a little bit repetitive. We have the shade Cygnus. This one has an orange base with a pinky red shift. There's what that one looks like. And then we have the shade Magellanic, which again has an orange base, but the pink shift is a little bit more pink and less red than the other one, but again, I feel like you wouldn't need both of those. And then lastly for that row, we have the shade Starfire, which this one is really pretty. It's probably my favorite of the bunch, I guess, if I had to pick. Again, it has like an orangey base, and it's a little bit more of like a pinky purple shift. But overall, oh my gosh, that's a terrible swatch. My apologies. You can see they look just fine on my fingers, but between those three, I feel like, again, you could just pick one and be good. But also, I don't really reach for shades like that all that much, so it could just be my own bias showing. But the Centaurus at the top there, or technically the bottom from where you're viewing, is so, so pretty and shifty. We can backtrack a little bit and go into these yellows. This first shade is called Pancake Bubbles, and it is a yellow with a blue shift. I really, really love the color of this one. So hopefully you can see the shift a little bit there. It's not super crazy intense, but it is really, really cool. And then next we have the shade Gumballs, and this is actually one of the Sugar Drop shadows, but I included it here because it is a yellow and I just felt like it would be more beneficial. This one honestly also has a little tiny bit of like a green shift, it looks like. I love this one on the inner corner or all over the lid. Again, really, really stunning. And then we have another beautiful yellow. This one's just a little bit brighter. This is called Vela. This one has like a lime green shift. It is stunning. And also, you know what? There's pink too. It has a lime green and pink shift to it. It's probably one of the most unique yellow shadows I've ever had. So between all three of those, again, I could justify all of them. Next, we're gonna jump into some of the more neutral bronzy shadows of the bunch. I really, really love these. This first one is called Sweet Sunbeam, and it is a bronze with like a golden shift, and it's just really stunning. If you love neutrals, these next three shadows I'm gonna show are the ones for you. I just really, really love the texture. It's just so pretty. Like if I'm gonna wear a bronze, it would be that one. And then this one is called Lynx, and it's a little bit more of like a copper base with a yellow shift. So stunning. I mean, I would even maybe say a greeny yellow shift. So there's what that one looks like. Kind of reminds me of one of the shades in the Kaleido Sashimi City palette. And then we have this bronze here, which has like a little bit more of like a, gosh, okay. It looks very red on camera, but it has like a green and a copper shift going on. This is called Centaurus. Do you see that? Like it looks like straight up copper to you guys, but to me, I see so much gold and green. So that is a really, really cool shadow. See how pretty those are? Okay, next let's go ahead and do some greens. This first one here is one of my top shadows ever. This is called Asteria, and it actually has a red base with a green shift to it. So there's Asteria. Oh my gosh, do you guys see that? It captured it so well. Look at that shade. One of the best shadows ever. Genuinely, like, oh, I'm so happy that you guys can see the shift there. Okay, and then next we have this really beautiful golden green, and this is called Celesta. I feel like I can see a little blue shift in this as well, but it's more subtle. So that's another really pretty shade if you like neutrals a little bit more. Do you see that? Actually, you can see the blue there too. Why are shifts suddenly showing? I did nothing different. Next, we have a new favorite of mine. This was in the most recent collection, and I just think it's stunning. It's the shade Orion, and it is a really beautiful lime green with a blue shift. So there's what Orion looks like. And then last but not least for the greens, we also have this one which is a little bit deeper. This is called Rainbow Blossom, and this is a really cool shade because it has a deep green base with a bluey teal shift. I just think it's a really unique green. So obviously between all four of those, they are quite different from one another. Okay, so now we can go ahead and jump on into the purple row. So starting off, we have this really beautiful light purple. It has a true purple base with like a little bit of a pink shift. This is called Runts. There's what that one looks like. I would say that it's like a purpley gray base and then a purpley pink shift. So it is really, really pretty. And then we also have this one here, which is called Kazookles, I believe. It's another really beautiful purple with a pink shift. But they're both really, really pretty, and they look different on the eyes in my opinion. And then we have a beautiful purple blue shifting shade here. This one is absolutely stunning. This is called Skyla. Hopefully you can see it's super, super shifty. It's like a deep red base and then a purple blue shift. So I honestly feel like looking at the purples, ooh, you can see Skyla shift really well. But between those, I feel like there's definitely room for more purples in their line. Devinah, if you're watching this, purples, please. I feel like there's a huge gap there, and I just love purple shadows, but those ones are really pretty. So next we have the darker shifts that I wanted to go ahead and compare next to one another. So this first one is called Mystic Moon Pie. If you like more of a cool tone neutral, this is one of the most unique ones. It has a berry base with like a silver shift, and it's just so, so pretty. Do you see that? So intense on the eyes. Really, this one caught me by surprise because when I originally saw the collection, I was like, I would like all of them except for that one, like looking at them in the pan. But actually using this, it is such an amazing shade. And then we have this one, which I think is Messier. Yes, this is a really beautiful shade. It's like a purple base with a blue shift. So I guess the bases actually look kind of similar on those, but the shifts make them completely different on the eyes. And then lastly, we have the shade, no, oh, that's actually, you know what? I should have known that. That is not a shadow that should be here. This is one of their regular shadows. Sorry, you're bumped. There's those compared. Now let's move on to the Aurora Flares. Whew, I keep having to wash and dry my hands every single break because there are so many sparkles, and I don't know if you could tell my hands started to get a little irritated. So luckily we are on to the last few shades here. So first we have this purple blue shifting shade called Magnetosphere. You can see the shift right there. I would describe these as being super metallic and thin. This one reminds me a lot of Alter Ego from Terra Moons. So there's what that one looks like. Really, really beautiful. And then we have the shade Thermosphere, which is a purple to blue shifting shade. Keep forgetting to go in the middle. And all of these do have a black base. So there's what that one looks like. It's just a little bit more blue and a little bit less green than the first one. Next we have the shade Borealis, which has a shift of blue and green, maybe a little bit of purple. I should say it's a little bit more teal, and I feel like that shows up really strongly on this one compared to the others. And then I think I'm gonna swatch this last one in comparison here as well. I'm gonna make it fit because I wanna show it next to Borealis. This is Polaris, and it has a mixture of blue, green, purple. Let me see. I can get you to see it a little bit more. This one's not. Oh, there. Do you see the purple, the blue, and then green? So all of these that I'm swatching on this hand right now have like a mixture of purple, blue, teal, but they just come off differently. So there's what that one looks like. This one I would describe as like the strongest green shift. This I would describe as the strongest teal shift, blue, and then this one is just the most multi-dimensional overall, I would say. But they're all really, really pretty shadows. Okay, so now we have, I believe this is the newest Aurorae Flare. It's called Exosphere, and this one has a shift of green, teal, a little bit of blue. It's a really, really stunning color. Look at that. So there's what that one looks like. Again, super, super shifty and stunning. And then we've got another green here, but this one has a little bit more of like a yellow, orange, green shift. You can see the green and the orange mostly on camera. This is called Chromosphere. I feel like I was completely set up for failure when it comes to remembering these names. They're all a little bit too similar for me, but that one's really pretty. Again, like I said, the difference, even though they look the same in some lighting, is that this one has an orange and the previous one did not. It's also a little bit more of like a yellowy green almost. So that one reminds me of fall. And then last but not least, we have a shade here called Australis. And this is a pink to reddy orange with maybe, I think it has a little bit of green. I feel like shades like this are popular among multi-chromes, but it's definitely not my favorite. Just like the pink, orange, green color story, for me, not as appealing as other things. I guess it's more range to it, but I don't know. I just don't reach for colors like that as often. So those are all the swatches of Devinah Sparkly Shadows. I really hope this comparison was helpful. I did get specifically requested to do this video, and you know, of course I want to make the content that you guys want to see. So if you ever have a video suggestion, please feel free to leave it down below. But that's all for today. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.